Hello. Christmas parties. In fact, parties in general. Well, what about them? I am one of life's introverts. In fact, I think in the Myers-Briggs system I am an INTP. But basically what it means is, as an introvert, I don't recharge my batteries by going out and partying. I recharge my batteries by spending some time on my own, or maybe with a few carefully chosen friends, and thinking about stuff or doing something interesting. Not going out with a bunch of alcohol-sodden, rowdy people, for want of a better word, drinking some foul-tasting fizzy brew and thinking that's a good time. It's just, and shouting over the noise to each other to try and be heard, or trying to hear what on earth they're saying. And where is the fun in that, really? I mean, I don't know. Oh, and then you go outside and vomit and all, at least that's what they do. Me, I tend to go there, look around. If the food is no good, I leave. Sometimes, anyway. Okay, I'll stay to be polite sometimes. I've got to go to the Christmas party at the office. Well, it's not going to be at the office, it's going to be at some nearby venue, pub or something, I suppose, with no proper food, canapes, apparently. That means some nasty little pastries or something, and no proper meal, and it'll be in the evening at mealtime. So if it's really busy, last year's Christmas party was incredibly busy. I went there, I ate maybe one sausage roll, it wasn't very nice, and then I fought my way through the crowds and got out and went home. Much better to go home. See, the difference is extroverts, they really enjoy being with people and like people, and they recharge their batteries, if you like, by being with people and conversing and so on. Now, introverts recharge their batteries by being with people too, but not with crowds of people, but more with, as I say, a chosen selection only. So it's kind of a different thing. So for me, a sort of a quiet discussion in a library would be more interesting than a party. But there you go. Got to go to these parties, or at least show my face, and then I can pretend that I've been lost in the crowd somewhere while actually I've snuck home. Our whole society is, of course, biased towards the extrovert way of living. I think it's for commercial reasons, because extroverts have this kind of reputation of thinking less and spending more. And clearly that is a capitalist's dream customer, right? So everything is biased, and the extrovert way of living is portrayed as normal. So all the ads on TV, they show people having parties and going on holidays and all this stuff. And I'm not averse to holidays, but I'm averse to spending so much money. But what do you do when you go on holiday? You go to Ibiza or somewhere, and you go to crowded, noisy places and drink and vomit and stuff, right? And maybe find members of the opposite sex and do other things, or whichever sex you prefer, I suppose. And maybe some bits of that are fun, but the whole package, to me, is almost the opposite of my idea of a good time, actually. And as an introvert, it should be, actually. Maybe 20-25% of the population are introverts, 20-25% are extroverts, but because of the cultural bias and the training of people to be the way the advertising culture wants us to be, we probably have more like a 50% extrovert type of the population. A balanced person would be somewhere in the middle. Whatever that is, I don't know. I'm not balanced like that. Someone who could stand going to parties, I suppose, without having to do so in order to recharge. don't know. What's the answer? How can I get around this? I suppose I've got to go to the party, right? And if it's quiet enough to actually talk, it can be okay. But even an ordinary pub on a Friday night is not usually quiet enough to talk, especially in town where it's super busy. I mean, the ones near where I work, on a Friday night there are crowds of people. The pub is full, and the streets outside also have crowds of people hanging around, talking or shouting loudly because they can't be heard over all the noise. And that is just so not fun for my personality type. Oh well, I'll go to be polite and sneak out afterwards. Bye for now.